Hey everybody, what's up? It's your boy MJ. Welcome to Before the Pour. My guest today is Chef, Som, restaurateur, and my good friend, Chef Michelangelo Wescott. Michaelangelo is the chef and owner of the Gypsy Apple Bistro, a French-inspired restaurant located in the foothills of the Berkshires in western Massachusetts. The town is called Shelburne Falls. It is where they filmed Gone Girl, in case you were wondering. Well, now you know, because you weren't wondering, because if you didn't know, you didn't know. They were listed as one of Eater's 38 most important restaurants in New England. In 2021, the bistro will be celebrating 15 years of serving an ever-changing menu focused on seasonality and mindfully sourced food with a uniquely crafted wine list that reflects the uncommon journey of Michaelangelo himself. Born in Fort Greene, Brooklyn in the early 70s, the real Fort Greene, he and his brother were raised by their parents who were immigrants from the West Indies in a community surrounded by food culture. In 2016, he overcame a battle with stomach cancer, is currently on a major upswing from a rare tick-bourne blood infection. Post-pandemic, he will finally be reopening his restaurant doors in the upcoming weeks of May. Welcome, Chef Michelangelo. What's up?
What's up, brother?
All right, so to warm us up, I'm going to start by asking you some personal questions, followed by Sonny Liston's. This is okay. This is all bonus material, so the more I fuck up, the better it is, actually.
Absolutely.
This is the blooper reel, anyway. James Lipton's famous questions from inside the actor's studio.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, so answer quickly. First thing comes to your head. Ready?
Yep.
What's your favorite book?
The Invisible Man, Ralph Ellison.
Nice. Oof. It's going to be a hot one today, y'all. It's going to be a good one. What is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? Oh, my God. Whoa. Now, that's a stunner. I'm going to say The Godfather.
Wow, I was just watching that the other day.
Yeah,
it's a good flick. My
great.
father loved that flick.
Yep,
loved
absolutely.
He read the book and loved the other flicks. Who's your favorite musical artist?
Favorite musical artist would have to be, God, geez, you hit me some heavy ones. Coltrane.
Nice. What is your favorite food to eat? Death Row, what are you eating?
Death Row, I'm eating some rice and beans, brother.
I love it.
Keeping it real.
Oh my God, this is gonna be so much fun. Who is your favorite athlete?
My favorite athlete would have to been Muhammad Ali.
Nice, yeah, mine too.
Or Michael Jordan.
Yeah. I take Muhammad just because he was political too. Like Michael had some chances, and Michael was great, but Michael had some chances, and down in North Carolina, and he declined to get involved. Because Republicans buy sneakers too. What's his comment? And they do. So, and he's a billionaire now. So, So,
I agree with all that.
What was your favorite cartoon as a child?
Oh my God, the Jetsons.
I love it. What was your favorite cereal to eat while watching the Jetsons?
Dude, oh man, I don't think they even make this shit anymore. Those Cocoa Pebbles, man.
Cocoa Pebbles.
I fucking love those things, dude. It's like crack. It's like crack for kids.
Totally. 85 grams of sugar per serving.
Oh yeah, and then they had the little Fruity Pebbles, which took on a whole nother.
I know, and then it became a whole nother thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
The 70s and 80s.
Oh, love it.
What's your current exercise routine?
Opening bottles.
I love it.
Lifting bottles?
Someone said, I think last night she said taking naps.
That's a
Lying
good one.
down.
That's a good one.
Who's your favorite comedian?
My favorite comedian, oh my God, Paul Mooney, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think Paul Mooney has to be one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because he was the guy behind Pryor. He was the guy writing the jokes, man.
Yeah.
And he wrote a lot of shit for Chappelle. So many people, yeah.
He's funny as shit,
and
man.
he's just, I don't know if he's funny. He's just real.
No,
he cracks me up.
He's real funny.
He don't crack a lot of white people up.
No, he doesn't.
But he's funny. He just tell the truth.
Yeah, sometimes the truth is funny.
Oh, my God. Okay. Who would you most like to have a bottle of wine with?
Andre the Giant, brother.
Oh, man. Oh, good answer.
Dude, my man used to suck down a half a case of wine before a match. That's the kind of guy I want to be drinking with.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's good. And you're right. Like, you're going to, that's someone you want to drink with, man.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, now we're going to go into these questions made famous by James Lipson on Inside the Actors Studio.
Okay.
Michelangelo.
Yes.
What is your favorite word?
My favorite word would be chillin'.
What is your least favorite word?
Not chillin'.
or illin', right? Mick is chillin', he be illin'.
That's right.
What turns you on?
Innovative people.
Nice. What turns you off?
Non-innovative people.
Love it. What sound or noise do you love?
Lately, I've been loving the sound of birds and the just like black sound. No cars, no auto, just nature, man. You know, it's really, especially after this year, it's really special.
Nice, very nice. What sound or noise do you hate?
I would say traffic.
Welcome to New York City.
That's right.
Welcome to the city. And actually, it's not that bad considered. It still hasn't picked. I'd say it's probably 70% still what it used to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know. What is your favorite curse word?
Motherfucker.
Yeah. They can't go wrong.
No, you can't. That's a classic.
It is, man.
Yeah.
That's like, come on. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Olympic swimmer? I don't know. Is there anything else than food and cooking and?
All right. Well, what profession would you not like to do?
Politician.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Yep.
And lastly, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I'm going to open up the Sauvignon Blanc in a minute.
Oh, my God. This was fun. And if you want more of Chef Wescott, which I know you do, tune into our episode of the Black Wine Guy Experience. Peace, y'all.
Peace. I could try to scoop it up with that little knife on that thing. Yours is probably longer.
Hey, everybody. What's up? It's your boy, MJ. Welcome to the Black Wine Guy Experience. My guest today is Chef, Som, restaurateur, and my good friend, Chef Michelangelo Wescott. He is the chef and owner of Gypsy Apple Bistro, a French-inspired restaurant located in the foothills of the Berkshires in western Massachusetts. The Gypsy Apple was listed as one of Eater's 38 most important restaurants in New England. In 2021, this year, the bistro will be celebrating 15 years of serving an ever-changing menu focused on local produce, mindfully sourced foods with a uniquely crafted wine list that reflects the uncommon journey of my buddy Michaelangelo himself. Born in Fort Greene, Brooklyn in the early 70s, that's the real Fort Greene. He and his brother were raised by their parents, both immigrants from the West Indies, in a community surrounded by food culture. In 2016, he overcame a battle with stomach cancer and is currently on a major upswing from a rare tick-bourne blood infection. Post-pandemic, he will finally be opening the doors to his restaurant in the upcoming weeks of May. Welcome, Chef Michelangelo Wescott. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, except hello. How you doing?
So, Michaelangelo and I connected through a trip to Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts. Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts, which is in the Berkshires. It's in a place called the Pioneer Valley. It's near UMass Amherst, Hampshire. And I had seen. Must have been 2015 or so. I was watching TV and they were talking about where certain famous people live, and there was a famous person who lived in the town of Shelburne Falls. I'm like, damn, if they live there, it must be nice. We should go check it out. And my wife had been there before. They have a little waterfall there, and actually, Shelburne Falls is where they filmed the movie Gone Girl with Ben Affleck. So it's this quaint little New England town nestled in the foothills. So we actually connected because my wife does all this research and looking for best places to eat. And so we went up there for our birthdays, and we went to the bistro. And here's how I knew it was a good restaurant. You weren't even there, bruh. You were on vacation.
I was on vacation.
Yeah, and that's why you got that. That's why you're a som and a chef. You had some dude in there, and the food was so good. The food, and it's like a small. This place is like small, y'all. It like holds what is seating inside?
We could sit up to 22 people inside.
Yeah. So so it's a very small, intimate experience, and the chef and his wife weren't there, and his wife at the time weren't there, and everything was running. It was humming. It was delicious. So, and my wife had did the research, and she knew that you was black, and so I was disappointed. But I was like, I had to come back. So we came back. So that's how we actually connected. It had nothing to do with social media per se. It just had to do with looking for a place to do a VRBO, have some good food, and it was this amazing fine dining bistro in the middle of nowhere. So, oh God, we could talk about. And the thing is, literally, it seats 22. And I remember going there, and I was saying, if this restaurant was like in L.A. or New York, it would have like a 2-year waiting list and would cost 4 to 5 times what you charge in that place.
Well,
I mean, it's that fucking good.
Thank you.
It's that fucking good. All right, so what are we drinking tonight on the Black Wine Guy Experience, my brother?
Well, we're, two jive turkeys like ourselves. We got to have some black chicken, my friend.
Yeah, I was saying, man, we got 2 black wine guys, and we're on the Black Wine Guy Experience, so we might as well have some black chicken.
Some black chicken by Robert Bale.
Yep.
Bob Bale out of Napa.
Yeah.
And this is a really interesting vintage. It's a 2007. I've been holding on to it for a little while, and one of those famous people in Shelburne Falls gave me this bottle of wine a couple years ago.
Wow. So this is super special, man. And this is actually, for all y'all, would be it's a 14-year-old Zinfandel.
It's a 14-year-old Zin,
and I'm sure it's singing. So let's get into that, and I'm a little fanboy in here. You guys haven't seen my boy in like a couple of years, so you gotta bear with me tonight, y'all. I'm gonna be giggling and.
Well, absolutely. I know it's great seeing you. The color is really
the color looks incredible, right?
Very interesting.
Yeah, right. So I mentioned a little bit in the bio, that you have had some major health issues in the past year, and then a pandemic. We talked about getting together, and I know you're waiting to get vaccinated, so I'm so happy that you could join us today.
I'm actually 100% vaccinated.
That's what's up.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So that's why I came out to the city and test this new vaccine out.
Take the vaccine out for a test drive.
Yeah. See if me and Dr. Felci have to have some words later on. But no, I feel good. I feel good about the direction the pandemic's going in, which is on the upswing opposed to the downswing. Yeah. Because the beginning of last year was quite.
It was hairy, man.
It was so hairy, man. It was. There's no real words to describe it except hairy and scary.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I just poured some of this beautiful Zin into this glass, which we had a really hard time to get that cork out.
And the crunchy stuff's free. So if you ever get any cork or sediment in your glass, it's free, people. Don't freak out. So tell me about growing up in Fort Greene, Brooklyn in the 70s. Because we're talking like Spike Lee movie Fort Greene. We're talking, what was that? Crooklyn, Spike Lee?
Yep.
Crooklyn?
Yeah.
Fort Greene? Yeah.
Fort Greene, old school. Big Daddy Kane. We're talking old school. I actually went to elementary school with Big Daddy Kane's cousin, his little cousin. And my brother and him were in the same class, and they were really close at the time. But coming into the city today, and comparing it to when I was a kid, where I can get a 50-cent slice, and then somewhere in between the 70s and 2021, where I remember buying a slice of pizza for $3, but now miraculously it's $1 again. It's I don't know what's going on. It's hilarious. It's just like it's one of those kind of like almost Maple Leaf City. It's New York is the most realist city in the world. But there's so many people that use this as kind of like an in between, or a place to just try out, and so it's a little confusing because you got like the true diehard New Yorkers like myself, which I haven't lived here in a long time, but it was a different attitude.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, oh wow, this is a really tame city with $1 pizza again. It's kind of crazy.
No, I mean, when first time I came to the city to do the podcast back like in September, it had that Ed Koch feel to the city again, man.
Mr. Ed.
Yeah,
The famous Mr. Ed.
Yeah, he was the famous Mr. Ed.
Oh, I remember that guy.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard to forget.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But Fort Greene was very ethnic back then.
It was very, very ethnic. And, it's kind of funny because I remember those days also being very segregated.
Right.
Where there was the Polish neighborhood, there was the Italian neighborhood, there was the Latino neighborhood, and then even the Latinos had like
the Dominican neighborhood, and the Puerto Rican
discrepancies against other Latinos. So like, the Dominicans live over there, the people they live over there. You know what I mean? Because my dad was like hardcore old school Puerto Rican man, came here in the 50s.
Okay.
Came like him with his brothers, and and tried to make something of themselves. And they did it in Fort Greene.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was actually going to ask you next. I know your parents are immigrants, and you said your dad is from Puerto Rico. Where's your mother from?
My mother's from the French West Indies, an island called Saint Martin. It's in affiliation with Saint Bart's, Guadeloupe, and Martinique. It's a very beautiful island. They've also have been going through a lot of struggles ever since the last hurricane, and now with the pandemic. Money's hard in those places because there's really the government will support you a little bit, but it's really tough, man, in the Caribbean. It's just like, hey, man, we got no water, we got no food, we got no this, and shit, you got no money now. Jobs are gone, and crime's increased and things like that. So it's a little sad to see places like that, and of course, once you got money and you can go into these places, it's fine because now you're getting, it's like, oh, I'm going here, I'm going to get a great discount.
And
I'm
I'll
gonna
scoop up a bunch of properties.
I'm gonna screw these people like nobody's business. So that's what I see when I go there, because it's unfortunate that people definitely feed off the poor.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's shit, man. Yeah, I mean that's the capitalism way, right?
Yep.
It's sad but true. So you got Puerto Rican dad, got a mother from Saint Martin, growing up in Fort Greene, and you had Polish neighborhoods around you, Italian neighborhoods. So how did growing up with parents who were immigrants and in such a ethnically diverse yet segregated section of New York City, how did that influence where you are today?
Well, I learned a lot just walking through Williamsburg, Brooklyn back in the day, because as you know, today still it's a big Hasidic Jewish neighborhood, and I would walk from my end of Fort Greene to my first job in the city, which was in Williamsburg on Grand Street. It was on 69 Grand Street, and I worked for the Unification Church. They had a conglomerate of businesses all throughout the city, all throughout the country. They owned the New Yorker. And that's where most of those people actually resigned. And, everyone who don't know Reverend Moon, he was the famous minister who married 25,000 couples in Madison Square Garden.
Sung Young Moon, right?
Young Sung Moon.
Yep.
So I ended up getting a job. It was kind of weird. My mom, my mom is the church lady, so we grew up in church. And at the time, my mom went through churches like she went to a deck of cards, bro.
I was gonna say because you just mentioned Unification Church, but like we had also bonded because my mom was a Jehovah's Witness church lady, right? So your mom was just she's like if you own property in Brooklyn, I want to go to your church, right?
Yeah, it's so weird, man. You know, like my mom is a Jehovah's Witness now, but we went, you know, the Mormons, dude, the plethora, man. There was a time where she went to Kingdom Hall when we were kids. She dude, back to back church, bro.
Oh, that's ill. That is ill.
And she would push me and my brother out the door to go to Sunday school.
Oh.
But that was kind of cool, man, because, you know, our church was in Clinton Hill. So, you know, we would, you know, we'd get our allowance, which was $1, and we'd get 25 cents worth of candy and then some pizzas from this Italian dude that used to make these beautiful small pizzas and this, you know, brick oven pizza for I remember he used to sell them for 50 cents, man. And then it went up to 75 cents. And that was Sunday. That was heaven. I'm like, wow, this pizza, it's New York pizza was always good, bro. Brooklyn pizza was always great, the best. Now I was introduced to this little Italian guy who used to smoke the cigar while he was working and making pizzas and selling pastry on Sunday morning, man. I'm going in, I'm seeing this crotchety old fucking Italian dude. And he was just but you know, over the years, he recognized us and whatnot, and just totally hooked us up, man. But that was my, kind of eye-opening parts of my youth was that pizza guy, and then working for the Unification Church, because that Unification Church was employing Asians, mostly Koreans and Japanese workers to work in the fish industry. So my eyes were totally wide open at that point, and then. You know, then I started doing deliveries for this company, where they would send me out in the world with I was fucking 14, man. I was 14 and hustling fish with some
slinging fish
with some skinny Puerto Rican cat or some fucking bitter some bitter other guy. I'm not gonna tell his ethnicity. Just to be PC, but again, you know, over the years, even that guy, we became really, really close, and really, it was really sweet. So I got introduced to eating raw fish through this fish company, because they also distributed their fish to all of these great Japanese restaurants all over the city. Places like Trip on 4 in the Village that fucking died in 86, you know. And, you know, just random little sushi, when it was actually Japanese chefs making sushi.
When a sushi chef was from Japan.
Yeah,
trained.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Where you could find a sukiyaki on a fucking menu, bro. I haven't seen a sukiyaki on a menu in 30 years.
I haven't heard of sukiyaki since The Last Dragon. Sukiyaki.
So, you know, that allowed me to start delivering. Then I started going to American, the Hudson Street Cafe, Tavern on the Green, Quilted Giraffe. You know, just now it's oh shit, I remember walking in those doors at a time when they were at the peak of the game, man. You know, and that also allowed me to witness wow, this dining room is fucking phenomenal. It's just something resonated with me. Wow, this is amazing. I'm I want to work in this place. And then, you know, seeing the chefs and, you know, giving me a little box of food to just roll on the road with. And I'm it's just blowing my fucking mind, man. You know, eating octopus. And I remember just random things that were given to me. First piece of foie gras I think I had at the Hudson Street Cafe when I was fucking 14. You know, it just really interesting. This could not have happened to me anywhere else in the world except fucking New York City.
Right.
And you know, even though things were a little segregated, people still had some people had respect for each other. You know, people, you know, they'd be oh, you know, it's you know, your Puerto Rican dad, mira papi, you know. I'm not doing that. You know, just leave me alone, bro. To keep it moving. You know, it's and things were a lot more real. People were a lot less sensitive back in the day. So, you know, it's just again, you know, right now I go to the city, everyone's have their little niche, little restaurant,
Yeah.
and it's like it's just built on what like really no culture, man. And if it is, you can't even afford it.
Right. Right.
You know,
Right.
so it's either, and then of course there's all these quick to go places that are everywhere, but I want the soul in the food. I want the expression of the chef to tell me his story in the food, and you get that, but you got to pay a fucking lot of money for it.
Yeah, it comes at a premium.
It comes at a premium.
Yeah.
It comes at a high premium.
So you got your start slinging fish, walking around town, getting hooked up, eating pulpo and foie gras. And what was like your first in-house restaurant type gig, man?
My first in-house gig restaurant, man. Okay, my mom moved us out of the city during my sophomore year in high school. I went to Park West on West 50th Street. So she took me out of the school, and she wanted, and back then you remember MJ, crack cocaine was hitting the streets.
Oh,
like,
yeah, bro.
like fire, son.
Yeah.
Like you seen people just being like, chilling one day, hey, haha,
Yeah.
and then the next day you see him dragging ass.
No, I mean we laugh, but I mean because
No.
you think of like comedians like Chappelle, you think of like Tyrone Wiggums, but literally that's what it's like.
Yeah.
Like people like in the matter of like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
you don't even recognize the person.
Totally gone.
It was just gone.
Totally gone. My brothers turned me onto this. Was it Snowfall?
Yeah, I watched Snowfall. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah. The girl, right?
Dude, how come I? You know why? Because I don't have TV, bro. How come I never knew about this show? Because I don't have TV.
Yeah.
But Hulu has it on, and dude, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's a good show.
That's a great show.
Yeah, you guys should check out Snowfall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, that was a John Singleton joint. It was one of the last things he executive produced.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And
interesting.
they still credit him. Yeah, as executive producer.
But what a great representation of that era.
Right.
It's just like shit was.
And I mean, because we have short memories in this fucking country.
Yeah, of course.
Right. We've already forgotten that there was a coup at the Capitol.
Oh, when did this happen?
Right. 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 We fucking but like fucking the CIA sold crack cocaine
Absolutely.
in L.A. to finance fucking the war against the Contras.
Yeah.
But nobody gives a like how like that's like so
Bush.
like and like I watch that like on the one hand like when you're trying to do stuff I tell people like it's hard to you have to focus on what you're doing but like I need those reminders too. I'm like because that shit was like in my lifetime. Okay, like that like even. This is just gonna be the show. This is the show it's gonna be today, guys. Even like I remember in the '90s, like when Boys in the Hood came out, and it was like, and in LA, how it was so hard for a black man to reach the age of 18.
Yep.
But it's still fucking hard.
Yep.
And it ain't even in LA. It's like in
no.
Minneapolis, Minnesota. I mean, like it's Georgia. It's everywhere. Like and shit ain't changed.
No, just a script, man. Again, back in those days, it was like black on black crimes. Now it's like police on black crimes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it hasn't changed much.
Yeah.
Just the script has changed just a little bit.
Yeah, and even then, we know. I mean, there was always police on black crime. So I mean, like,
Dude.
it just that's thank God for camcorders. That's why otherwise that would exist, right? People wouldn't even never still. But even that, nobody gives a shit.
Could you imagine like taking that footage of Rodney King with that little fucking camera, dude?
Yeah.
Like the little, you remember the little
Yeah,
phones,
yeah.
dude? Dude, fucking changed the world, man.
Right.
It's like holy shit, I
Right.
can actually capture
Right.
the moment.
Right. Right.
So that was a game fucking changer.
Right.
Because look at the shit that's going down right now with our man, Mr. Floyd, and dude, I watched I can't watch that shit, man, because when you want to talk about bullshit and like, come on, man, if that was your fucking kid, homeboy,
right.
you'd be up in this guy's ass like fucking like white on rice.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt.
yeah, it's just like the humanity part has.
Yeah, that's that thing for me. It's the like it's the people not recognizing that our race is human, right? And then we have different pigmentations and but we're all humans, and there's this lack of humanity
Yeah.
that is it's depressing if you let it get. So we're going to change the subject.
Yeah.
We had to digress. This is what happens. You don't see your boy.
Exactly.
You start talking about TV shows you watch. And we're talking about, and we're touching on gentrification. So, you start thinking about, so it just brings everything back.
Absolutely.
What I mean? So that first indoor restaurant gig.
So my first restaurant indoor gig was in a place called, which is really interesting, it was called the Green Scene Tavern. And that was in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
That was in East Stroudsburg. That's where I finished high school, was East Stroudsburg High School, which I call Pennsyltucky. Because shit was like, even though I'm wearing camouflage, bro, I got a little redneck in me too, bro.
Like Black Duck Dynasty and shit.
Hey, listen, hey, listen, bro. I'm bringing the country to the city, son. But I got my red shoes on, bro.
Ain't nobody gonna fuck with you. That's for damn sure.
Oh, I hope not. So my first restaurant gig was at this place that was really interesting. I shouldn't even mention names on this one because the owner was this, I don't know, 30-something-year-old Jewish guy. His father gave him the restaurant and hotel. He went through some shit. He grew up with a lot of money. He did fucking porn, dude. He did porn, and
this is dad rewarded him.
And well, he did a drug that was similar to crack, but the refined part of that drug, and had a really bad accident, and it stopped him from drinking and doing drugs, and he actually became a really solid fucking businessman.
Okay.
And he ran it was a really good restaurant at the time. We're talking mid 80s, 87, 88. They specialized in like American fare. I remember some of the things that were, popular back then. Dude, flounder parmesan, okay? That's what I was slinging, some fucking flounder parmesan and shrimp parmesan with spaghetti.
It was all parmesan back
dude,
in the day. Everything was parmesan.
Or was a trio.
Just throw some cheese on that motherfucker, put it under the salamander.
Damn straight, bro. Damn straight. And the guy who ran the kitchen, his name was Tom Upschulte. I'm only saying that because I think he's no longer with us.
He's probably not listening.
I doubt it. But he was the biggest, probably one of the biggest racists I've ever met, ever. And I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And this guy didn't give a shit. And he only hired. I only worked there because Barth hired me, and Tom was, over the years. Okay, you get to know someone, and you're like, I don't really just want to not know this person and do damage or hurt them. So he at least got that far. But when I first met him, dude, the shit that I had to endure was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it made me the person that I am today.
Mm-hmm.
I can again, my generation, I can. Right off the back.
That's kind of true. There's a good book called "The Coddling of the American Mind," and I don't believe that people should use hate speech and slurs, but like you said, we just grew up with shit where just like you just had to deal with it.
Yeah.
And it does make you a little bit stronger, right?
Of course.
It does make you a little bit stronger. It makes you strive to be the best.
Yep.
At what you do,
yep,
right? Course. So, because they're looking at you because of the color of your skin.
Yep.
So it makes you double down. Well, it made me and you,
yeah, of course,
double down and really strive to just be the best motherfucker at whatever we're doing. If I'm in there, I'm gonna be the best, whatever. I'm gonna. When I sold absolutely. Cell phones, within 2 months I was the number one salesman. I'd be like, yep. I'm just gonna be the best, So. You're out there in Pennsyltucky. Pennsyltucky. Where'd you go from that place? Where was your next gig, man?
My next gig, so I graduated from high school, and then I took a little stint, and I went to Mexico. Another shit show, man. My life has been full of shit shows. I ended up landing this gig in Cancun right before it became the destination for spring breakers. Yeah. I went and I worked for this fucking dude. This guy was from California. His dad was a taxi cab driver, and he had this pizzeria in downtown Cancun called Pedro's Pizza. I didn't know Pedro made pizza.
I didn't know either, man.
But honestly, it was a cool ass place, and I'm like,
was that a marketing? It must be like it's like so people would think it was authentic.
Dude, it was again. They were like, it was a whole new kind of crowd coming in.
Okay.
Like I remember, dude. I lived down. So much sketchy shit happened in downtown Cancun, dude. If my eyes can bleed, they would, bro. For real, man. I remember so much crazy shit. But I was going to stay out there for a year, but I ended up staying for about 5 months. You know why? Guess why?
Why?
Because homeboy wasn't paying me, bro.
What?
Oh, dude, that is the classic story of my life. So he was one of the first people that was the first person who never paid me. I got paid every now and then, but honestly, this guy was a young dude. He's a fucking gigolo, man. Out in the streets trying to, back in the day, dude, tableside service, when a Caesar salad, they'll do something at the table. And I remember eating. I remember coming from Pennsylvania. I'm fucking out of high school, dude. I don't know shit, And I remember going to restaurants and I'm like, wow, this is a lot. And it was expensive. It was super expensive. And I remember wow. Then I started meeting people actually from Cancun.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, oh, don't ever buy anything here. I'm like, really? Dude, I went into their hood, which is probably 6 blocks from the actual downtown. The same shit I was getting for $5-6, I was getting for $1.
Yeah, I mean, it's
50 cents.
The fruit's coming from the same field. The vegetables come from the same fucking fields.
Yeah. Well, it was intentionally created to get the American dollar.
Yeah.
And I get it, but
I'm not mad at it.
Not me neither, bro. That's capitalism, son.
I mean, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. Yep. I'm not mad at them if they want to get some tourist dollars.
No, hey, listen, I'm definitely not mad at them.
But it just sucks, because you don't know, so you're caught up in it,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So and there was nothing exciting about that place. And then when I came back, my mom was retiring, so she was like, "I'm going to the Caribbean." She was like, "Do you want to come?" Because I had the option to be like, "Oh, I'm just going to stay here," which I originally said I was going to do, but I ended up going with her, and that kind of changed my life completely. Leaving this country and spending several years in Saint Martin, it opened up my eyes, even gave it a broader lens, because there were a lot of Europeans. There was a lot of really great chefs. Dude, fucking restaurants in St. Martin were on. You remember the show Great Chefs?
Yeah.
Every now and then you'll see and this is in the 80s, man. You'll see, well, we're in French Saint Martin, Grand Cause, and at this restaurant, and it'd be a whole show featuring this one chef doing amazing food. And St. Martin is known as the culinary capital of the Caribbean. So there's a plethora of food to be eaten and wine to be drunk. And I ended up originally getting, my first job was so dumb. It was I worked as a snorkel instructor, and I ended up tending bar. And then I got my first cooking job in St. Martin, which was the most interesting fucking job I've ever had to date, because I was working with some crazy ass Italians that were young and they came from tons of money, and their parents just let them out in the world and gave them shit. They gave them all this stuff. They gave them a house. They gave them a business, cars. So these kids were fucking. It was. And I'm honestly surprised that they lasted as long as they did, because it was literally as soon as they rolled in. I think we used to roll in at 9. They'd be pouring fucking orange juice.
Oh, good Lord.
At 9 in the morning, man, and they'd be going to dinner, dude. And then they'd be going out. But people had a lot of stamina, back in those days. Now, I gotta.
Now we gotta drink hard seltzer.
Yeah. Well, I got a 21-year-old, and it's okay. When I was your age, I was fucking partying and doing shit and out and just chilling, till 3 in the morning. My kid's he's up until 3 in the morning. We're playing fucking Xbox.
Call of Duty or so. I was like, he said, "What are you talking about, Dad?"
Yep.
We're on a mission on Call of Duty.
Yeah, exactly. And when I was his age, I would have 3 wardrobe changes. Sid would be in his underwear all day. No shirt, just underwear, like getting something and going back to his room, closing the door, and playing video games.
It's a different generation.
It's totally different generation. And, I think I find it quite interesting. But going back to Made in Italy, I learned a lot because, of course, again, kind of that bigoted, like, oh, I'm going to get an Italian chef. So I would always have someone, which was great because I didn't know much about Italian food. So I was great to get that experience from like, because his father owned a couple of resorts and a really big resort in Portogievo and Sardinia. And he just kind of.
So these were Italians, not Italian Americans.
No, these are Italians.
Okay.
Italians. So that they also opened up my eyes to a lot of Sardinian wines. And it's kind of funny because it's just like remembering the first time I ever had, or I didn't even know where fucking Sardinia was, man. I'm fucking 17, 18 and living in the Caribbean, or 19, whatever, and Sardinia, where the fuck is that? Is that like a can of sardines?
I know. I mean, literally, like, how would you? I mean,
how would you know? Like, it's so obscure. It's just like you heard of Italy, but have you heard of Sardinia? Or of course Sicily, because I watched fucking Godfather.
Right.
I knew where that was. And so they introduced me to a whole kind of like new way of cooking. They're doing a la minute pasta dishes. They're doing things like nothing's made. Everything's being made to order. Things that are made with pomodoro. You have your chopped tomatoes. If you're doing like they did a pasta caprese, which was like fresh chopped tomatoes, olive oil, garlic, and like they finished up with like cubed buffalo mozzarella. That was one of my favorites. It's called the spaghetti cicheca. And so I got to learn all these really great pasta dishes and just some really interesting just meat dishes. So I did that for a couple of years, and that was, again, I had to stop that job. You know why? Because I wasn't getting paid, son.
They didn't pay you, bro.
I wasn't getting paid. So, you know what you do when you ain't getting paid? You make a move, son.
You bounce.
I got some more no getting paid jobs down this line.
So let's hold that thought. We're gonna take a quick break.
Okay.
And we'll come back and we'll find out how you finally got paid.
Okay.
Okay, we're back, and you know what, man? I need some more of that black chicken.
That black chicken.
I think my producer does too.
Absolutely.
Guys, Robert B. Ali Vineyards.
I'm gonna say
y'all need to send me some wine.
Just with my own personal, I think that I need to drink the other 2 bottles. I think it's getting a little oxidized.
Oh yeah. No, it's time. This summer would be a good time to drink these.
No, it's it held up.
Yeah. No, it's matter of fact, I would say it just turned the peak.
Yep, absolutely.
Like it just crested the hill and it's gonna go down, but it's gonna go down fast.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of life left. It's not completely like because another wine of lesser quality would have been shot like 5 years ago.
Oh yeah. All right, so they weren't paying you.
They weren't paying me, so I had to bounce, bro. I was like, yo. But in that culture, because where I was next to this French restaurant called L'Escargot, where Christophe was the head chef, and sweet guy. And this guy, we would swap lunches and stuff, and then I would go in his kitchen every now and then, help him out. So I kind of like got into preparing a classic French dishes. And I actually did a private dinner, and I was reflecting on a dish that I had that Christophe made me, and I replicated it for this dinner party I did. Well, wine pairing dinner for people that paid me. Okay, because that's where I am now, bro. I'm in the pay zone.
Yeah.
I'm no longer in the no pay zone because apparently people that don't get paid are young chefs, dancers, and musicians, bro.
Yeah.
So starving artists, fucking get it, fucking got it. Been there, done that, and
it's a good business model. Just get people to work and don't pay them.
Well, It's like,
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's a good business model for someone who's an asshole.
well, they used to do that here, bro.
Well, I know. I was saying, I was like, I mean,
You know, that was a great business model.
It's founded on.
Yeah.
There's a country founded on free labor.
Yeah. Well, you think?
Free and now cheap labor. And robots are coming soon. Oh,
that's good. That wasn't COVID. I just choked.
Yeah, I know. That's another thing. Too, like, no, I'm fine.
No, I'm fine. As I'm coughing my brains out. Again, I learned a lot, and I've also learned how not to run a business, because these guys, I remember back in the day, these guys would be like throwing shit vodka into or whatever into like high-end bottles.
Oh, that's common. Not common, but that's known to happen in the business. You get the shit vodka and put it in high-end bottles, top shelf bottles.
That's so dirty.
Don't you hate like
the
shiesty part of the business, man?
Dude, I remember, this is my first real introduction to rosé, MJ, was these same guys having 2 boxes of like wine and literally making rosé.
Well, no, I know. I mean, there's a place I worked at, which is closed now, so I could say it, but I won't say it. But someone wanted a ginger ale. Ginger ale was Sprite with a little bit of Coke in it. If you don't have ginger ale.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you just make it look like ginger ale color.
Yeah. Golden.
And you put a lemon in it or something.
Well, I would do that with rum. Get the same hue.
People are like, I'm never gonna get ginger ale from MJ.
No.
I don't have a restaurant, motherfucker.
No,
so
absolutely.
You won't.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
So let's fast forward a little bit.
Yep.
There, Green Street Cafe in Northampton, Massachusetts. How did that affect your career?
Well, that was the fucking game changer. Green Street, I remember coming into Green Street. I just spent like 4 months on the road going cross country with this girl that I met, and you know the story, bro.
I know. Listen, there has not been a guest on. A lot of the wine stories start with a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
They just do.
Yeah, and I
nose all up in the air.
Oh Lord.
Sprung.
Yep. She was from Linfield, Massachusetts. I met her on the UMass campus, and we totally hit it off. Long story short, we ended up going cross country. Went to see some music in the 4 months. We went to see Fish, and
I was like, you were either a Fish or a Dead tour.
so I come back, fucking no money, blown out, bro. Because it's like I think I took a shower like a month ago or something. Did me jumping in the pond count as washing up? So anyway, I needed a freaking job, man, and I went to this restaurant because the person that I was living with, which is one of my best friend's moms, I was living in her basement. And the story gets.
I'm gonna leave Stifler's mom out of this.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, she was like, "Oh, I have a friend who, the son of my friend is working at Green Street, Matt." I'm like, "Great." So I went up there, and I went in, and I'm like, "Hello." This is back in the day where you had enough fucking balls to go in the back of the kitchen and be like, "Yeah, I need a job."
Right.
Just
walk out the back door.
Yeah. Just like,
I'm looking for work.
Yeah. Could you email me your resume? None of that shit. So I rolled up in the back of this place. Matt kind of gave me the side eye and shit. It was fine. Dude, we're like best friends. I've known Matt forever now. But he gave me a job, and I met the owners, and I talked to John for literally, he talked to me for almost 2 hours. Green Street was owned by a gay couple. Came out of New York City, owned a great restaurant called Adele's. They moved back to the country. John was a son of a farmer, so he grew up in the Polish farming lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Went to New York City, Jim is from San Francisco, West Coast, California. Really eccentric. He's a master at ikebana, Japanese floral arrangements. Worked at the Brooklyn Botanical Garden. Just a plethora of shit. These guys took me under their wing, man. I had these guys. They. I want to say that they taught me 80% of what I know today. I'm talking about John and his wine knowledge. I'm talking about John and his food knowledge, giving me money to go eat out.
Wow.
To experience fine dining. He offered so much because he believed in the culture. He believed in the food, and he believed he knew what was right and where the food world was going. Has it gone that way? In a lot of ways it has, because now everything's farm to table. But I remember one time someone came in, and this is with CISA came in, and when they started this whole local hero thing, and I remember John, he's like, I've been doing this for my whole life, and he was like, how could I? He was like, I support you, but how could I put my support in you when I've been doing this my entire life and no one has supported me? And I thought that was very, very interesting. I thought that was a very interesting conversation. But I ended up being at Green Street, and I met Amy at Green Street.
Amy is his ex-wife.
Yeah, I met her at Green Street, and she was like 17. It's kind of crazy. It's like my whole life kind of started right there. I was exposed. John would take me. I went to fucking France with John and Jim last year.
Wow.
I went to France with those guys for a month. We were in Lyon, and then we were in Paris. That's how extensive our relationship has gotten. For me, being kind of like a 23-year-old kid that they just rolled up in the back of their restaurant, and we're going on vacation to France and Paris, eating at a Michelin star restaurant every afternoon because you can't afford dinner. But the great conversations that we've had, and and John's love of wine, was really kind of like one of the first pushes, where I'm like, oh, this is a real thing, I loved that whole food and wine culture, and I tried to get that in St. Martin, which I did. I got a lot of wine culture in St. Martin, just because there's tons of wine to be drunk.
Well, in the Caribbean in general, yeah. I went to Barbados, those are the European controlled. Yeah, that's the right word.
Yeah.
Former European colonies.
Yep.
Have way more wine than say Puerto Rico's changing, but by and by, just the culture, because European.
Oh yeah.
Europeans have more of a wine drinking culture. So.
Absolutely, and you'll get wines that you never ever see in this country. Like Fragère, and things like that, and Rhone, and just really interesting, weird, small villages that where's this?
Right.
So you'll get a lot of that, opposed to you go to Puerto Rico, you can get your classic, son. You're gonna get your Yellowtail. You're gonna get your Carl Rose.
Yeah, but you can get your Camus, but also Camus is like it's a machine now. It's not what I mean. So yeah, you're gonna get all your biggies. What you're saying?
Yeah.
You definitely can get some Opus One in Puerto Rico. Nothing wrong with Opus One, but
No.
you're not gonna find boutique or smaller production or as much as you would, because there's a whole got to be a whole negotiant trade just to the islands, right? You make you make a little bit of wine, you might be better to bring it to the islands than to America and compete.
And put it
against the Favleys and all the big the Louis Jadot's and whatnot. You'd be better off just going somewhere where you're going to get a higher ROI. And that's a whole nother discussion. But the person who gets the least out of the wine is usually the producer.
Absolutely.
Well,
again, if it's someone who's making it and getting wine from all over France, and just putting it into different specific bottles, whether it's a blend, like a Rhone or a Bordeaux style wine, you're getting a lot of that. You're just getting lots of, and then just like really like niche, interesting bottles. Like I'm like, and they're like €2.
Right.
You can go and get like, dude. I was drinking last time I was on the island. I was drinking this. I was drinking a rosé from Côte d'Ivoire. It's like €1.90 at the Super U, bro. It was insane. But with the wine selection, it's crazy. But you could also get a plethora of fifth growth like Grand Cru, Bordeaux, expensive Burgundies. But you could also get like a €2-3 bottle of Bordeaux. You know?
Yeah.
You're not gonna get that for Burgundy.
No, Burgundy's a different animal.
Dude, I was reading the Wine Spectator and like the Chabertin, bro. Like, oh, $900, man. Jesus, I'm like, I can go to France for a week and chill for that same amount of money.
Wine.
Yeah.
You
know, I'll just drink what I can when I get there.
There you go. So back to Green Street. So after Green Street, was that when you opened up the bistro?
No.
Okay.
There's a lot that, man. It's not like I had a shitload of jobs,
right?
Because I've stayed at places a long time. But so after Green Street, I left and went back to the Caribbean, raised my kid there for 2 years.
Okay.
Came back to the United States with literally $20.
Damn.
And not all in dollars. There's a lot of change in there. But me and Amy like hustled it up. No one would hire me. I was like doing like these like low-end, well, not low-end jobs, but I was like working at there was a high-end restaurant called Sienna. My really good friend used to own it, and he had some run-ins with the police, so he needed someone to hold his liquor license. So that I did that for a couple of years, and then I opened up my own place. I ended up saving enough money to open my own place. That was my first restaurant.
That's such an immigrant story. Does that come from parents of immigrants? As an American, I have a hard time saving money, man. As a kid who grew up in America.
Well, my mom would always make sure you save them because that's what church ladies do, dude.
Yeah.
You don't sin with that money. If you sin with that money, you'll never have money. So I'm like, I tried not to do that. So I opened up my first restaurant. And then it was a seasonal gig, which was great because I'm getting my hang of I'm doing this and this is my idea. This is like, I'm curating this entire thing. And then I took on a winter job because this was seasonal. So I did it through the spring, through the fall. And then I ended up getting a job working for Yankee Candle.
Okay.
And they had a
restaurant. Because that's out that way, that factory.
They had a restaurant called Chandler's, and that's where I met Brom Callahan, Master Son Brom. And he was right out of high school, going to UMass, I think he was taking language classes at that time. And and it's kind of crazy. And then I ended up buying it wasn't Gypsy Apple then, but I ended up buying that space, creating the Gypsy Apple, celebrating 15 years this year. What was that saying? We've come a long way, baby.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at myself because I've learned, I've grown, I've experimented, I've opened my eyes up to wine, I've opened up my eyes to the service end of things, and it's been really it's been a crazy ride, especially in the last year. But I love what I do, man. And this year has put the nail in the coffin of how much I love what I do. Because a year of not socializing and being in the community and having the community that I'm accustomed to, whereas people coming in and enjoying themselves and wanting a great glass of wine, wanting to hear a great story, wanting to taste something delicious, wanting to tell their story. That's what I miss. And that's what will continue. And I've had some some mishaps in the last couple of years. I've fucking dealt with stomach cancer, and I didn't think I was gonna get out of that one.
Yeah, I mean, let's just, I mean, just because one of the things I talk about on the show, you've listened to it. Thank you very much for doing that. Is adversities, and I remember, just tell everybody how big was the tumor they removed out of you, man?
When they first found it, it was 100 pounds. And it took a year for them to shrink it so it was safe enough to take out of my body without me dying. And when they took it out, it was 56 pounds. And they opened me up like a fish. I have a scar from the middle of my belly button to the middle of my spine, and from the side up to my arm, where they just literally just like took 2 ribs to pull this thing out, took my spleen, took my stomach. They accidentally cut my left ventricle in 3 places. They cut my esophagus in 2 places, so they had to repair so much, man. And they used my small intestine for my stomach, and they took 85% of my pancreas. Oh, the list just goes on, dude. It goes on and on.
And I remember, because we had become friends at that point. Remember when that was going down, and wow, I can't get. I don't want to get too teary-eyed, but you opened up. Yep. You were just doing lunches, and I brought my mom to your restaurant.
I remember that, and she had fried chicken.
Yep.
No, I remember that. I remember
and she loved your fried chicken.
Man, God bless
and
her.
my mom makes good fried chicken.
I know she used the bacon fat, bro.
That's right.
No, it's I remember that.
And, and that was I don't even think you were cooking, but it was just good to see you on the floor.
I was sitting right across from you on the bench.
On the bench, yeah. I mean, you were obviously, I mean, you were exhausted. You just, I mean, that's major fucking trauma. And then, you know, a couple months later, back in full swing. Yeah.
And I remember you bringing. I remember that night. So because I made fried rice. It was some kimchi.
Yeah.
We sat outside till like 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh my God.
That was one of those crazy weekends.
That was.
I got engaged. I got engaged at your restaurant.
Jesus, a lot of mercy.
That's right. Holy shit,
dude. That's amazing.
Remember I called you? I was like, so we gotta set it up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh my God.
It's so crazy. Like it's crazy how much time goes without the recognition of the time.
Well, exactly,
that has
right?
passed.
I mean, I think this past year, what's one of the big things, it forced you to take a pause, and I used to live in Connecticut, like down in New Haven. It was only like a 90-minute drive up to, 2 hours, man. It was the best, and now it's like 4.5 fucking hours. But we're coming up because Black Wine Guy and Michaelangelo, Chef, we're going to be doing some shit.
That's right.
Make sure you're watching Instagram for what we're doing. We're going to do a little pop-up at his restaurant. We do a food and wine pairing, and might even bring him down here.
Oh,
but yeah, so many good times. Yeah, and I remember that night we came in, and we spent New Year's Eve there one year.
Dude, I'll tell you what you turned me onto. You turned me onto Rhone blends from Texas.
That's right. I brought that. That's right. I brought that one from Texas.
You turned me on to some crazy fucking orange natural wine with the heart on it.
Oh yeah. I brought that wine. It was a field blend. It was some crazy field blend.
It was crazy, man. Yeah. That shit was like an experiment. Kind of went wrong. I don't know.
Yeah,
I was just like, this is.
I was like, if I can bring a funky wine to somebody, who, I throw mad shade of natural wine, but I'll try anything, almost anything once. There's
at least
one color of wine I won't try. I'm not going to say what it is. So. And also, I'd say one thing when I remember the first time going to your restaurant, I was like, you're all about having people enjoy wine with their meal.
Absolutely.
Right? So like your bottles are marked up like $10 over retail costs or some shit. Like you don't do the 3-time. No. And I remember you weren't there, but I remember I was like, this list is good. You had an Italian Petit Verdot.
Yeah, well, that was Spanish. I still remember that.
Okay. Yeah. And I was like, this is just so, we got to try this because.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, someone has curated this list. So now we're on wine. Well, it's all wine, but now we're on wine. I remember you have your level 1 Som. You did your level 1.
I did. I was supposed to take my level 2, but it was canceled last year when I
Fucking
went.
COVID, man.
I went to. I was already in Georgia, ready to take the test, and I got this thing like, well, Georgia's been shut down, and
You were there the week it got shut down?
I was there the day it got shut down.
Yeah, I'm saying it was only shut down for a week, though, bro.
I know.
It's fucking Georgia.
No, I know.
Yeah.
My brother, oh my God.
You were there during that 7-day period where they took it serious.
Oh, Georgia. Oh, God bless you. You're such an okay state, kinda. But you need to work on your shit. No, you're absolutely right. It's like Texas.
Right.
And now what is it, Missouri?
Yeah.
Oh.
But let's get back to why.
Yeah.
You obviously you're gonna be back on the show 3 or 4 fucking times.
I hope so.
Obviously. So, and I remember you because after you had went through all the surgery, you just re-examined your life, and you're like, I want to dive deeper into wine, and so you started studying, and rightly so. I think you're a celebrity in the Pioneer Valley where you live, and you were interviewed by the Valley Advocate, and actually, I did share this last year. I wrote a post about you, but I love the article. You sent me the article, and this was your quote. You said, first of all, it's a white boy's game.
No doubt.
Speak on that.
Well, nothing has changed much, as we know, because of the incidences that has happened.
Yeah.
And so it's me speaking on that. I don't really need to, because everyone knows the story. It's just like it's obvious, and it's like, again, it's just like, oh well, you can become a Som. It's like shit. It's like me becoming a Som. Technically, it could have been like a black man trying to get a fucking bus driving job in 1953. Okay, so that's how I look at it. But I am able to, and as you know, it's all about playing the game, man. It's just like. There was a couple incidents where people felt disrespected, and I get it, But again, I get it, but I also get the fact that sometimes you just need to let shit roll off your back and just keep it moving.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it, and every fucking game has rules. Mm-hmm. So,
absolutely.
So we talked about Snowfall, another great movie. Oh shit, The Banker.
I don't. No.
Anthony Mackie and Samuel Jackson.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I won't give it away, but it's like in the 40s and black dudes buying real estate and in finance. So just can imagine. And they were and they did something in Texas, but there was a line in there where Samuel L. Jackson said, he's like, just because the game is rigged, it doesn't mean it's fun. It's not fun to win, right? So I think I developed this years ago, like in geometry. Like I look at life almost like a geometry problem. Like given there's racism, you can either prove there's racism or prove that you can rise above it. Yeah, and there's it's just choices and paths, and you know this, man. No matter what. When you look like us, you black.
Straight up,
you just that's it.
You could be light black or dark black.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You black, right?
Black, yeah.
So I've accepted that.
I have too.
And and I move on in the face of that.
And I don't want to be nothing but.
And that's the thing too. Exactly. That informs my whole experience, right?
Exactly.
I just said experience, right? So like when people don't like the show, that's okay. I get it.
Yep.
Probably don't like black people. I mean, come on, it's okay.
Hey, I'm on board.
But I think there is something special about, and I think believes this, but I just, guys our age, I'm a few years older than you. Like, I grew up seeing so much shit. That it was really good. It just has been good to. I feel great about what I've seen in my life and everything I'm going through, and everybody, trials and tribulations, but just who my parents were.
Of course.
Just just do the work, man.
D-
I mean, I just show up. I show up here. I do the work, right?
Dude.
Like I do the work.
And that is my new. That's been like my motto for like the last 2 years. Just do the work. That's it. Just do the work. Because if you're not doing the work, what are you doing? You could either do one. You could do one of two things. You could do the work, or you can complain and make problems. You could be a problem maker, not a problem solver. I'd rather be a problem solver than a problem maker. I don't need to cry about every fucking little thing. Who's, you know?
I mean, let's look at your fucking life,
Well,
right?
do-
I mean, and
Absolutely.
then I mean, there was a 110-pound tumor inside there to shrink down to 55. They shred your body open, and you could have been like, "That's it. You could have gone on disability. I'm never working again."
I could have totally did that. I could have played that card, but you know what? I would have been fucking miserable.
And I remember talking. You were dying to get back to work.
I
And then even last summer, you got like some parasitic infection, and I remember you were out of pocket for like. You was like, "Bro, I was like,
I called you in the hospital.
Yeah,
like,
called me in the hospital.
A couple times. Like I'm like, yo, and dude, life. You don't know what life's gonna throw in front of you, man. I'm just happy to be here now. You know what? I get gifted every single day I wake up with one gift from God. You know what that is? Open up both of my fucking eyes. Once I can do that, bro, I know I can stand up and do something and make it happen. And that's how I fucking roll.
I love it. I love it. So tell us about the name Gypsy Apple Bistro. How'd you name the restaurant?
Well, that's really interesting. That name actually came from Amy's great grandmother.
Okay.
That she was of French descent, and she couldn't pronounce pomegranate, so she would say Gypsy Apple when she referred.
Oh, right, because the Gypsy Apple was a
pomegranate.
name for a pomegranate. Right,
Yeah.
right.
One of those gypsy apples.
I know. That's so fun.
But dude, I'm so much of a gypsy.
I know. Well, I mean, that's why you got to come back. I mean, didn't shower for 4 months, jumped in the lake with some girl, a fish. We got more shitty jobs to fucking unpack.
Dude, there's so many. Oh God, I want to tell you about all. You could have a show about me, how many jobs I didn't get paid at, man. That like, right now, the last job I didn't get paid at, the guy's a multimillionaire now. It was like, and it was like that job that like, maybe if I stay, like, shit's gonna pan out.
Right, exactly. It's like I'm at this startup. Like it's like.
But it was like, dude, you know what? My kid needs to eat. I need to do something different right now. If I was rolling solo, I would have totally been with homeboy, but that wasn't the case. I had people to take care of. And it's hard to take care of people with this, man. You need to do the work. You need to make that money. You need to get that. You need this? I'll get it. Got you. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Those are the things I want to hear. Like, this guy's not paying me. Oh, I don't got any money. I fucking hate that, dude. Just like woe's me, the woe's me crowd. Just do something, man. Shit will pan out.
Yeah, I actually.
Just be grateful for what you got for right now and make it better. Plain and simple. Simple math, man.
Yeah, I think I read something today. It was like, if you're stuck, take some action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, what I was going to say before, it was like, go, like with me growing up, when I grew up, it was like, go home and cry to your mom. I'm like, I can't because she's got 2 fucking jobs. She ain't home yet.
Or she'd be like, shut up, boy, before I give you something to cry about.
And no doubt, bro.
That's my mom.
Pick your switch.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to give you something to cry about.
Yeah. Dude, it's so funny, because my mom's 85 now. And it's just like, sometimes I just sit down with her and it's like, remember, Mom, when you did that thing? She'd be like, damn. Because, you got to always remember, like, those kids are going to be adults one day.
I know.
And I call my mom out and I laugh. I think
my
it's
mom
funny.
used to deny stuff. That didn't happen.
My mom does.
All the time.
I'm like, dude,
no,
that happened.
That
was real.
I'm like, look.
That was real.
Me and my sister rarely agreed on anything, but we'd have the same account of stuff, and I'm like, no, that shit happened.
That was real.
So, Gypsy Apple, which is a pomegranate, I love that. Name one of the top restaurants by eater. What was that like, man, to get that recognition?
That was the 38 essential restaurants to eat at in New England, and that was really great because New England is pretty. You know, I that article is like, oh, you get to share one baseball team, you get to share one football team, where like New York got 3 football teams.
Right.
You know, it's just like, so this is like really, and I get Connecticut that don't want to be part of New England. I get that, because you know they're all fucking Giants fans.
Nah, man, it's like Connecticut. 'Cause
And-
I lived in
Yankees,
both.
and
I mean,
Yankees.
they're half. It's half. Half the state is like Boston fans. Half the state rolls with New York.
Half, half. Okay, half. No, okay. No, there's a lot of New York fans in Connecticut. Not throwing anyone under the bus, man.
I've lived there, and obviously I didn't fucking ever like Boston when I was there.
Hey, listen, I love the Boston Red Sox. I love the Patriots. I'm from Brooklyn. I grew up a Jets fan. The Jets has let me down so many decades. I need to go. You know what?
Had to go with a winner.
I had to go winner, bro.
I'm not mad.
You know what? I usually don't do that to my peoples.
Right.
I had to do it to the Jets, man. But it took like decades. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going on this bandwagon right here, because I live here now, and it's just like I really respect the team and how their success has affected. Because and that's the thing with the restaurant business. Even a team winning adds to your success in your restaurant.
Yeah.
Because
People want to go out and celebrate. Yep.
Let's pop some bottles.
So
let's eat some food.
Speaking of that, tell us about reopening the restaurant, man.
Reopening the restaurant is, I feel so inspired right now, honestly, MJ. Every morning I wake up, man, I kind of like jot little things down. I'm not writing down my memoirs by no means, but I am definitely having visions and ideas and things like that. I'm trying to restructure my wine list. And it's funny, I'm going through my wine list the other day. I'm like, grapes a bitch? Chardonnay. It'll psych you out. Every time.
You know
bro.
what's so funny? Who was I talking to last week about that? It's so true. We're like, when I was out in California, I was just out in California, like, and my friend, I was like, and he's like, this is our Chardonnay. I was like, it's good. He's like, I know it's good, and we both like, but it's Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they were like, it's good, but it's Chardonnay.
Yeah. There's
Chardonnay, and then there's white Burgundy, and then there's expensive California Chardonnay.
That's what I'm saying.
And
man.
that's the trick with that. Like, it's so hard. Like you can find a $15 Macon.
Yeah.
Or something that's dope.
Yep. Of course.
You can find a nice Bourgogne, and if you know the producer, it could, the vineyard could sit right next to Polini Montrachet, and it could be $30-$40 a bottle.
Absolutely.
But the average $30-$40 California Chardonnay, it's the okie doke.
The okie dokie.
It's the okie doke, man.
And they're not using barrels, man.
Right.
Using chips.
So it is. So you're right. Chardonnay it's a bitch of a grape, man.
I'm looking at my white wine list because I'm trying to reduce it and trying to just make things a little more accessible and for me and my customers. And I'm like, how many Chardonnays I got on this fucking list?
Yeah, man.
It's like I got a Premier Cru, Saint Alban. I got what else I got for Mount Eden. I got Keenan Chardonnay. I got
but those are. I mean, so Mount Eden and Keenan. That's legit.
No,
Chard, right.
Absolutely. Right. But then I have Moucon Fusé.
Right.
I have, it's just, and I have another white Burgundy. I had like 8 Chardonnays on my list, but dude, the Chardonnay is a hustler, dude. Comes by different many names. Dude, there should be like a pimp named Chardonnay, bro. Because I'm like,
it's
what?
definitely a stripper name. I used to work in education. Kids, their name would be Chardonnay.
No,
but it'd be like SADE apostrophe DONNA with some squiggly line and shit.
Lord.
And they'd be mad you can't pronounce some motherfucking thing.
I don't speak pig Latin.
Right. And then they'd be like, Chardonnay. I'm like,
Chardonnay.
do you know you're named after a wine? They don't even know.
Oh. Actually, a grape.
Actually, it's a grape. God damn it.
God.
It's going to be a long day. I got another episode to record. His black chicken has started kicking in.
Dude, you know, when you start frying that black chicken, bro, the fucking smoke, it smokes up a room.
Exactly. So we get ready to wrap up here.
Yes.
Tell me about, what was the bottle of wine that really started off for you with wine, though?
In a good way or a bad way?
Okay, so in a good way.
in a good way. It would be John. It would be John Shelsky, Green Street Cafe. Actually, okay, so, oh my God. He used to buy futures, so he had a lot of 82 books.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, dude, it was crazy. So
How smart was that? Because that was expensive. I mean, and that seemed expensive then?
So I also drink Bordeaux with another friend of mine who's a famous writer who was my neighbor. And he has 76, 80, 82, 83s. And we're talking about like Chateau Mouton. We're talking about Lafite. Rough, just like
Petrus. You've told me about.
Just like,
just
like, bro. He was like, I'm going to open up 3 bottles. I love this guy. I'm not even going to say his name. I love this guy because he's just like, and then I have his friends being like, sweat me. Like, I heard he opened up those wines. He was like, ugh. I'm like, dude, don't hate me because you've been his friend for like 40 fucking years. And he'd rather be drinking with me than
Don't hate the player, hate the game, son.
Exactly, bro. It's like don't be coming up, don't be half stepping up in here, son. Because this is my house. But it's kind of funny. It's just like, you know, I know a lot of older gentlemen that kind of take it to heart that this particular person don't like drinking with them. I'm like, honestly, I wouldn't want to be drinking with you either, man. And it could be like a bottle of nothing,
right?
Or shit, you know?
It could be a bottle of tap water that I put in a bottle.
And I shouldn't say that because
no,
these guys are really sweet, and you know, it's just like, and it's that weird humor. It's just like, is that what are you what are you getting at?
Yeah,
it's like you don't think I like know what I'm drinking,
right,
or this and that. It's like I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
you know, I'm a chef.
I mean, you're a chef, right? So. Mm-hmm. So what was the actual bottle? So you said he was bought futures
and that was a Latour.
Wow.
82. And that was the first time but I gotta say, the same person who gave me this had a Petrus 97 that I opened and I thought was okay.
Yeah, that can be interesting. Bordeaux's tricky.
I drank it the next day.
Wow. And
my eyes were bleeding, bro. It was like I almost saw like the savior.
Right. So the
like,
first day, I was like, but
yeah.
You say, yeah. And that's the thing. Bordeaux has drinking windows, man.
I'm like, $4,000. I'll drink this tomorrow. I swear to God, bro. I was on the New York City train with this I had 3 bottles, like it was like 2.5 bottles, and I remember drinking. I'm like, oh. It's okay. It's okay. I'm like, it's not blowing my fucking mind.
Right. Because that's what happens a lot of times. You have these, like when I first came in, I had so many great bottles, I couldn't even appreciate them. You know what I mean? And but sometimes, like you said, like Bordeaux, like that drinking window shit is real. And one way you get around it is like you open it and let it sit for a few days.
Yeah.
Right.
So the next day, I uncorked it, thinking it was going to be just as okay as it was the first time I drank it.
And then it was like, what do they have, like a picture of the Pope on the bottle or something? It was like, oh.
Dude, like tears of blood start coming down my eyes. I think it was the Pomerol.
It started bleeding Pomerol.
And it just came down, and I'm like, this is the most magnificent thing I've ever tasted, because I remembered it the day before, and the second day it bloomed into something so amazing, and the acid was like, everything was so right. it was like, oh, the tannins are right. The acid is great. You know, it was like, you know, the first day, didn't get none of that.
Yeah.
It was just like, I'm like, it's okay. Change my tune the second day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that would probably be, and that was maybe 5 years ago.
Well, Michaelangelo, my really good friend, thank you so much for coming in, man.
MJ, it was, I guess this is what it takes, a pandemic to see each other.
I know.
It's
Fucking pandemic and a podcast.
And a podcast. No, and let me tell you, I much success on this, man. I listen to you. I love how you're doing this, man. This is like, it resonates so much with my life and my lifestyle and what I do and what you do. I think that everyone should be listening to this because you come with such a real approach to this. I'm fucking blown away, man. I'm like, dude, because I listen to podcasts, you know, you can only listen to the Guild of Psalms so many times before you like want to fucking fall asleep.
Put a pencil in your eye like this. Shit. Hey, buddy, look at me.
No. I honestly listened to one of your podcasts, and then there was something on Spanish wines. I can't remember from region, but I remember it was just like I was happy and like energetic when I like was listening to you, and then all of a sudden I went Alice in Chains, bro. I felt sad. I don't know how I felt, actually. I was confused. But again, 100% success on this, man. I love what you're doing. I hope you run this thing to the ground, son, because once it hits the ground, it will root and fucking grow again. Because this thing is badass, bro. I look for, dude. I'm all caught up, man. I've listened to every episode, and they're all amazing.
Wow,
they're all amazing. Thank you for putting this out in the world for people to listen to.
Well,
thank you,
man. Thank you so much for that. I'm just, really excited. We've had big name guests, but you go toe to toe with anybody in this industry.
Thank you, sir.
And I hope you guys have enjoyed this. They'll be back for more because we could literally talk for hours, and we will. Tell them how they can find you and be a part of what you're doing.
Well, you can find me on Instagram. I think I'm Chef Wescott.
Yeah, you're at Chef Wescott.
At Chef Wescott on Instagram. And I'm on Facebook, but my website is gypsyapplebistro.com. You can see what I'm doing there. Once we get started up again, things will be up to date, menus, wine lists, and just stories probably. And I hope that you guys check me out. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everybody, it's your boy MJ. Until the next time, cheers to the Mavericks, philosophers, deep thinkers, and to all you wine drinkers, we say peace.